Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Advanced Selling Podcast, the longest running sales training podcast in the history of podcasting. I'm Bill Caskey.
I'm Bryan Neale here.
We are so glad you're here with us today. I know we always say that, but we just get gladder and gladder and gladder each week. If you're new to the podcast, you can go to advancedsellingpodcast.com, pan down a little bit, scroll down, and I guess you pan right, left, you scroll down. And there's some top performing episodes that if you're going to start somewhere, probably a good place to start is those top 10, top 20. So welcome. Always. Glad you're with us. Okay, so you'll notice that my microphone is now on. Brian, thank you for the tip.
You didn't notice in editing. They wouldn't have noticed in editing because Travis is such a crack editor. But, sometimes we got to stop the show and get the audio right. That's how we are around here.
Better being a crack addict, I guess.
Way better.
See, I can't hear that when I hear the microphone coming through.
Yes.
And it was a problem with the platform. So I appreciate you telling me that. Anyway,
we're back on. We're back. We didn't even leave really to the listener, but now
I wanted to redo the whole thing, Brian.
It's like, we're good.
Pause and all.
A nice good little pause there. I was on the road. I've been on the road a lot through August and September 2025. As we're recording this, and I've noticed something. One that's like an extremely annoying piece of technology, mostly by the sound that it makes, speaking of sound, but also it got me thinking that something that just doesn't seem to have evolved at all technologically, and that is the hotel ironing board. If you've ever taken a hotel ironing board out, they're the same ones that have been there since 1987, and they make this horrendous squeaking noise when you open them up, when it goes, and there's no way to quiet it down. And I'm thinking, now maybe this just isn't a big enough problem to solve, but it seems like the ironing board, who's the company that makes all the fancy, Dyson, the Dyson guys.
Oh, sure.
Right?
It's on the drawing board. Yeah. Probably it's not a big enough ticket for Dyson, but who knows? If you're going to sell to hotels, that could be billion.
That's what I mean. It's a lot, a lot of things. Or maybe you sell something that's consumable with it, so it's got like a cover on it. I don't know. Yeah. And maybe I'm just, but every time I pull an ironing board out, which isn't frequent.
No, I'm sure not.
At the hotel, though, is when I usually do it because my clothes get kind of wrinkled up. I'm just like, gosh, there's got to be a way to like quiet this thing down or make it it's so clunky. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to undo and it doesn't go away smooth. It's not intuitive. Like I couldn't get one I had couldn't get it open. It's got like the little levers underneath. It's brutal.
Exactly. We had one at the house that we couldn't get closed. And so I'd come home after a long day at the coal mine and Jane would say, hey, I can't get the ironing board closed. And so I'd work on it, get frustrated and start to beads of sweat and start to get the hammer out. After 2 months of this, I'm like, I've spent $40,000 of my time here at my rate. No, I've spent a lot of time here. And what's going on? So we bought one from Amazon, and the new ones they're better, but it's still the same thing. Lever. It's not AI nor is Wi-Fi controlled. But
I think if a guy can go into the men's shaving razor business and make $1 billion selling $1 razors for Dollar Shave Club, someone can go into the ironing board business and disrupt it. Yeah. Someone listening should disrupt the ironing board business.
Disrupt, baby.
Go do it. Okay, topic. Okay. What do we say we're doing? We're doing stall. Oh, I know, the myth.
Oh, the
myth. Yeah. We're gonna debunk a very, very common, often talked about myth in sales coaching and training, which is creating buyer urgency. The myth of how to create buyer urgency, or the fact that you can even, create urgency in another human being. Yeah. How to do that. So we're going to talk a little bit about why that exists and what are some of the old techniques, and then how to modernize your approach to, because I see slowness right now, and not slowness in like not making decisions, more in the maybe the speed or the days to close. Seems to be people just like, come on. And then things are breaking. They'll say yes and sign contracts. It just takes.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
How would you reverse engineer that? Because I'm seeing it too a little bit, seeing it in our business, seeing it with clients, but hasn't been. And I'm wondering if there's a subterranean reason for it that maybe we haven't identified. And it probably has nothing to do with we're not using the right sales moves on people. It's probably not that. It's probably is it decision making and authorities are the decision making process becoming more spread out among people, and so they don't get to, it's because people aren't in the office. We can't sit around and talk. We have to do it. I just wonder if there's another reason.
Yeah, we go macro, micro. But I want to double stamp something that you said, which I thought was fantastic. It's not because we're not using the right sales tactic.
Yeah,
that's not the problem, but people think that that's how you fix it. And that's not what's happening here. It's like, well, if you use the right, here's the great sense of urgency, email subject line. Here's how you create, So I think macro, there's still the U.S. economy is still wiggling a little bit, still not total. It feels better than it feels worse, feels better, feels worse. I think that causes people there's no panic. No one's worried about everyone in this deep, dark recession. At the same time, it's boom, gangbusters. It's not that. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
And I think people are just generally becoming more thoughtful is, I think, a way to say that about the decisions that they make. And they want to be thoughtful and reasonable with them versus hasty, which I don't mind. I don't mind people doing homework and research.
Yeah.
But I also think there's because there's so much like technology, like software, SaaS, tools, things, there's EOS, there's accounting systems, there's a LinkedIn Sales Navigator. There's also more to consider.
That's right.
So there's more competing, conflicting potential options for capital
overlays. I can buy this and I can buy this, but there's an overlay. Well, can I just buy that? No. And I agree. And I also think I've been on harping on this here the last few months is I think that the behavior of the buyer has changed. Their procedures have changed. How they look at things have changed. Maybe they've become more judicious in their decision making. Maybe its decision making is expanded, so it's not 3 people anymore; it's 7. But buyer behavior has definitely changed. How they seek information, what they expect from a sales professional. I think that's changed. Anthony Iannarino talks a lot about that, about how our buyers are expecting something very different from us today. And I think with as AI becomes more prevalent, people are going to, I just heard a guy the other day, he's an advisor for this nutrition drink, and they're going to put a QR code on the nutrition drink. So when you buy a can, I don't know if you have to put in your email address or anything, but the QR code goes to a 5-part questionnaire that asks you several questions, and then it creates a sleep cycle training. It creates some content for you, creates a meditation app, and it's all AI driven. And so their point is, why would you not? And they're going to constantly be updating it, so you keep having to buy the drink.
Right.
But it's where AI is going to have a huge impact on some of these things. And if you're behind there, people are going to not buy you no matter what move you put on them.
Right. And that's the trick. That the old way to create buyer urgency was to come up with clever things to say or to ask that would the old pattern interrupt, like, or go negative on them, or these are some old technique-y things to do.
If I could show you a way,
if
I could show you a way to get exactly what you want. Would you buy from me today at this moment? If I could show you a way.
Yeah. The other thing that's happened, I think that's contributing here is we've also solved this with discounting. And so there's some really, really big, really popular, famous software companies who have used discounting as a strategy and have trained their really intelligent buyers just to wait because they know they're going to get a deal. And I think that's a little U.S. subterranean. I think that's a subterranean element that people don't realize. And it's not necessarily you doing it. It's other people have done it. And we train the buyer, to your point about buyers being different. Well, if I just wait this out, I might get a deal here.
Yeah. Or there's always negotiation. So, you might say it's $50,000. Come on, wink, wink. I know we can get down to 42 if I really press you. And I totally agree with that. We've conditioned our buyers. I also think there's there's a certain amount of risk that a buyer takes when they engage with you or me or anybody in their business. And if it's a significant kind of thing, like it's not just a $49 item, but it's a $49,000 item, there's a certain amount of risk. And I think the great sales organizations have been able to reverse that risk.
I love
so
that.
They take the risk if the buyer doesn't like it. It's kind of like the Amazon mentality. If you don't like it, send it back. You got a month. And I just bought a pair of really sharp shoes. Yeah. I just bought a pair of shoes, and I thought I ordered a kind of an off-white, and it came in stark white. I had to put my sunglasses on, they were white, and I had to send it back. But it's real easy to do. And I think that kind of mentality, you as a sales organization have to have a risk reversal mentality. If this doesn't work, let me tell you what we're going to do. Sometimes you can't pull out you can't pull the software out. There's great expense to it, but you've got to find some way to reverse the risk, not because the buyer demands it, but because other vendors will do it.
Yes. I think that's, to me, the key. The way to fix this problem now is not through cheesy sales tactic. Yeah. I think is de-risking. I'm so funny you said that, because that's what my belief. I totally believe that to be true. And I think too, because we've had this example at our firm recently, where that does take some of the guarantees we offer now, takes the buyer back a little bit. Like, oh, okay. And you can, that's part of the negotiation and deal structure too. If they're coming up on a year-end budget and like, well, our budget doesn't start till here. I'm like, that's fine. Let's do it like a deposit up front to get you locked in. And then, you can pay in the next 2 months. Like, really? You'll do that? I'm like, yeah. What de-risking does, to me, is it tells the buyer how confident you are in what you do. Right. That's what people miss. It is de-risking for them, but it has a second purpose, and that is you really believe in your stuff here to take that kind of risk to, like, we have a guarantee at our program. You come to get certified in our operating system. It's 3 days of certification. You have until the end of day 2. If you leave at the end of day 2, you're like, this sucks, we hate this. Yep. We shred the contract, give you all your money back. You're out of plane ticket and a hotel.
You got to do it. You got to do it for things like that. Because have to. It's not like you're installing a lot of equipment and, it takes a year to install the equipment and say, if you don't like the equipment, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make that. But I would do other things up front to de-risk. Yes. So that it's not about I'm going to pull out my equipment if you don't like it. You and I can do that pretty easily. If you don't like the first month, I'll refund your money, and it never happens because they.
Right.
But I think that gives the buyer a peace of mind, and I would refund if they didn't like 100%. It. Shoot, I don't want to be a part of something that I'm not wanted.
100%.
I think another thing. So we talked about why it happens. We talked a little bit about some of the old mentalities. I think risk reversal or de-risking is a really important part of this. I think another important part is a thorough explanation about what happens when you buy or when you engage. Yep. I don't think salespeople are traditionally good at that. I think they want to get to the close so bad they don't look beyond the close. Remember, we used to be told, don't look beyond the close, don't look beyond the close. Yes. The buyer looks beyond the close, because the close to the buyer doesn't mean much. The question is, how are you going to help me? How are you going to help me fix this problem by buying from you? And if we are better at explaining the solution step by step, not in gory detail, but just general direction on here's where we're going to take you, here's how we're going to get you there, I think that reverses the risk, because now that's an emotional risk. I don't know, I'm going to buy, but I have no idea what's going to happen. Well, once you know what's going to happen, makes it easier to buy.
That's so great. That's so great. If you sell, equipment or machines or something, you can look at delivery schedules. You can put a proposed training schedule. So here's what would happen. Contract sign happens on this day. 2 weeks later, all the equipment you can show pictures of that. I can create a picture of the equipment being delivered at the customer's facility. Exactly. Like, this is what it's going to look like. Mostly we do it with AI, but it's, and then here's our training team. You're going to be involved with them. They'll do these sessions to come out and walk you guys through this. All that does okay. And it's part of what they're buying. It's the process.
It's exactly
buying, right?
what they're buying.
Yeah, it's not the thing as much as the process.
Yeah.
God, that's fantastic. And you're right. Buyers they're so bent on the contract signing. They do not look or they don't help people see past
sellers
that sometimes. Sellers. Did I say buyers?
Yeah,
I'm sellers. I'm sorry. Sellers.
I listen to I hang on every word.
Well, you have to these days. I mean, the mics are on all the time.
These days. Now, what do you mean by that?
These days. It's a great song. Do you know the song These Days by Jackson Browne? Oh,
I know these.
It's a little, These Days as a kind of like a B-side Jackson Browne song. Listen to it. It's a fantastic song. It's great lyric. It's good life where you and I are on life stage.
Because I always criticize my family members, which goes over really well, for using the term these days. These days.
I love it.
It's like
great song.
What does that mean?
Great song. It's about growing old. Like it's a really good song.
Hey, give us your impressions of what you heard today. Anything that you heard that can help you, or any ideas you have of how to quote unquote create urgency without those traditional sales moves and sales techniques. We don't like those. We never have. Mm-hmm. We probably don't diss them as much as we should. We did today. I just find that you don't need to do those things to make sales today. In fact, I think they have the opposite effect.
I love you de-risk, you share process afterwards, stay away from that stuff, be true to timelines and process. And that's all you need.
Yeah.
And let it work.
And detach.
Detach.
Make decisions. I'm good. I'm going on.
Absolutely. Yeah. So good.
If you're interested in Insider, go to advancedsellingpodcast./Insider. The October 3rd session, first Friday in October, we're going to be talking about how to create an introductory video. If you have meetings coming up, how to create a really solid introductory video so that by the time you get to the first meeting, you're golden. You're positioned well.
10 people should sign up just for that.
Let's get that.
Let's get that. 10 people should literally join Insider just to learn how to do that. I'm telling you that it would be, what a silly reason. Everyone should do that. What a great topic. All right,
guys. See you next time.
Bye.